Today I want to talk about systems and processes because we're going into the end of the year. People are starting to do business planning, and I'm going to give you 7 systems that have to be in your business. Hey, my name is Chance Brown. I'm the broker owner of CB&A Realtors, and I make video content for real estate agents because I'm passionate about helping them build great businesses. As we look back at our business, where did it come from? If we don't have a system in place to track our business, whether it's tracking leads and/or tracking closings to know where that business came from, it's hard for us to say where we want our business to go in the future. Because if I know all of my business is coming from my sphere and I'm spending tons and tons of money on Facebook advertising, but I'm getting lots of leads, but I'm not getting lots of closings, next year I need to probably dial down the Facebook advertising and dial up the sphere of influence work. We got to know where that comes from because it just helps us work smarter, not harder. It makes sure that we run more efficiently in our business. And I think it's one of the things that agents don't do very well, but I would love to see more of them do is track where their leads come from and where their closings come from so that they can build a more efficient, more effective marketing strategy for the future of their business. Number 2 is your CRM. And I have beaten this horse. It's been dead for a long time. I keep beating it because it's the most important piece of your business. The CRM is not only the central hub of communication for your business, it's your asset. It's your one and only asset. If you are wanting to retire at some point in the future, you're not going to retire by selling your Supras or your sign frames. You're just not going to. But you can sell a book of business that spits off revenue because you have good processes and systems in place. And that's where your CRM really becomes your lasting asset. So if you are not using your CRM, I am going to implore you to do so in 2026 and make that the keystone of your marketing plan for the next year. Number 3 is client experience. We live in an experience economy. We live in a place where people find it more important how they feel about a purchase or a service they receive than the actual quality of that thing. When I talk about this with agents, I talk about Apple versus Android when we talk about our phones, right? I am a sold out member of the Apple cult. I've got Mac TV, MacBook, Mac everything. Android people have better phones than iPhone people. Now, I don't want to be a green bubble person in my life. That's not where I want to live. I want to be a blue bubble person because that just feels good. I feel part of being that. This is how we have created this economy where how we feel about the things we do is more important. So I'm going to implore you as you look at next year, what does the experience of working with you look like? Where are the points where there are friction? And can we reduce or eliminate that friction to create an experience that people are going to talk about in a great way that leads to referrals and repeat business? That's the key to this client experience or client journey mapping that we've talked about is reducing friction so you've just created this amazing experience that people want to come back to over and over again or tell their friends that you need to do this as well. All right, content. We have to be putting content out. Does it mean you have to be doing video like I'm doing here? No, but you need to have a plan for content, and it doesn't always have to be hitting people over the head with your real estate hammer. You can provide valuable content to people all the time that doesn't have to be, hey, buy or sell real estate, hey, buy or sell real estate, hey, buy or sell real estate. This could look like what's going on in the market. This could look like what's going on in your local governance or state governance. It could look like what's happening this weekend in your neighborhood that you're focusing on or things like that. But you have to have a plan around your content and not just kind of willy-nilly as you see things, put it out there. I'm going to take a quick time out here. If you're going to post other people's content, please make sure it's true before you post it. I see things all the time that agents see some other agent post or whatever, and they just copy and paste, or they post it out there because that person seems like they know what the hell they're doing. Just do a quick double check, please, before you do that, to make sure that it's actually valid information and you're not misleading your audience, because that does way more damage that's lasting than just infrequent posting or bad posting. Post good stuff that positions you as the resource. Next one up is transaction management. I have talked about this time and time again. If you're a real estate agent, you should have a transaction coordinator. You should have somebody doing the transaction management piece. But again, I go back to that client experience piece and I say, does your transaction management makes sense for how you want to build your business and the experience your client is going to have. That doesn't mean that you, and I'm talking to you control freaks, it doesn't mean that you have to be the one doing it. It just means you need to have a system in place that your transaction coordinator can follow to make sure that we're reducing friction from contract to close. You still don't need to be sending emails to title company. That's their job. You still don't need to be setting up inspections. That's their job. You need to be working on lead gen, client experience, client care, things like that. Next up on that note is having a great referral system. It mesmerizes me that we have agents out there who work incredibly hard and do a phenomenal job, and they get to the closing table and they're like, cool, I got my check, peace out, I'm never going to talk to you again. And statistically, if you look at our industry, that is true. The number of people that use a realtor initially is, depending on the year, somewhere between 88 and like 92%, right? And I would argue there's some skepticism of that data. I would say it's almost universal that people use realtors when they buy and sell real estate. Yet when they go to do it again the next time, not so universal. Those numbers plummet in an almost embarrassing fashion. If we're being honest, it's kind of embarrassing that we're that bad at it. You have to have a system that's going to drive the referral engine of your business in place so that you are comfortable asking for it, and you feel like you're not just, oh, I'm selling you a used car here. No, I want to make sure that the experience you had is the same experience the people you care about have. That's where I'm coming from when I'm asking for referrals is don't let your friends and family members go have a bad experience. I will help them make sure they have the same great experience that you had moving forward. And that needs to be a regular part of your business. And last but not least here, I'm going to implore you to do something that almost zero agents do. And that is, whether you want to call it a review, whether you want to call it a debrief, whatever you call it, I want you to sit back and I want you to take a hard look at your business. And I want you to set up times during the next year, maybe quarterly, to sit down and really take a hard look at your business from a 30,000 foot view and say, what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? What's going great? What could I use help with? And what does that help look like? And be honest with yourself. I liken this to like a military operation, right? We're going to spend all this time business planning and then we're just going to go do it, but we don't spend any time stepping back like the military does after an operation and saying what went right, what went wrong for next time. We need to build those things into our business so that we just get better. We start to anticipate what our clients are going to want or need or ask, and we build that into our presentations and our marketing and things like that. So lead tracking, CRM, client experience, content, transaction management, referral, review. That's your 7 systems to guide you to a really successful place in 2026. I hope that that's helpful for you. If there's anything I can do to help you build on that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here for you.